I'd like to call there you go. I'd like to call the October 10th council meeting to order, Township Council meeting agenda and a session meeting. Whatever, please stand and rise for solution. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Bahal?
Here.
Councilman McAvoy?
Here.
Councilwoman Sullivan? Here. Councilwoman Zambicki? Here. Council President Wendell?
Yes.
Also present. Mayor Brad Cohen?
Here.
Joseph Crisculo?
Here.
Township Attorney Michael Baker?
Here.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Law, 1975, by specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda, by posting a copy on the bulletin board located in the main lobby of the East Brunswick Municipal Building, providing a copy to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel newspapers, posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk, which will be entered into the minutes.
Thank you. Can we get an approval of meeting minutes, resolution number 17499?
So moved.
Adopting meeting minutes of September 12th, 2022. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bahal. Any discussion on these meeting minutes? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President Wendell?
Yes.
Thank you all.
We have some proclamations this evening. We have a proclamation in support of the Task Force Action Plan advocated by the Task Force partners to get past plastic one bottle at a time. Would we like to get up and speak on that?
Do you have it?
Council
Kevin,
President?
you have it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's me. Follow me. I'm asking. Good. It's a proclamation, whereas the Township of East Brunswick recognizes the leadership of the Environmental Commission, the Sustainability Task Force, East Brunswick, Hadassah, and Alpha Delta Kappa in launching a campaign on Get Past Plastic, one bottle at a time, and other recycling, reusing, and refusing goals. And whereas the Township of East Brunswick agrees to work together with the task force partners to educate and help solve the difficult problems facing a disposable culture caused by excessive single-use and end-use plastic, a growing landfill, and climate changes. And whereas the Township of East Brunswick supports the task force action plan of letter writing to government and business to advertise advantages in refusing single-use plastic and stopping the use of plastic bags, straws, and bottles, to encourage even greater township recycling, to increase the number of water filling stations in the schools, to encourage free cycling, and to encourage every township resident to be part of the solution. Wow. And whereas the Township of East Brunswick takes pride in being in the nation's forefront of cleaning up our environment, being a changeable township, and empowering the next generation to continue to take proper use of our township and of our world. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Brad Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, along with the Township Council, do hereby respect and admire the efforts of the town of the task force partners and look forward to their continued success, given under my hand and the great seal of the Township of East Brunswick on the 10th day of October in the year 2022, the Honorable Mayor Brad Cohen. Yeah? Okay. The microphone is yours.
We wanted to thank the Township of East Brunswick for this proclamation. This is totally a joint effort between Hadassah, Alpha Delta Kappa, and the East Brunswick Sustainability Committee to, as was just said in the proclamation, work towards bettering our environment through removing single-use items from not only our schools but our greater community. So we thank you for this proclamation and hope that we can get past plastics one bottle at a time together. Thank you.
Jim,
What?
I want to say something.
Mayor, you want to speak?
Yeah, I just wanted to get a couple seconds to, again, thank everybody that came out on this initiative, working together to find a specific item that we, as a town, can work on together. If we try to have an agenda that tries to accomplish too many things, at the end of the day, you often don't accomplish anything. But this was a targeted campaign that these groups are working towards, which we clearly know is an area that we have to work in if we're going to look to improve the environment. And it starts, believe it or not, with the youngsters. And I know that because I've raised kids myself, and I remember when we would begin school year and we would have the fire department come in and they would go over all the different things that you could do in your home to make your house less likely to be to have a fire. And of course the kids would come home and tell me to do all these things, and I would say, oh, that's a good idea, things that I wouldn't have actually thought about myself, and they kind of guilt you into doing the right thing. When I was teaching the kids to drive and they went to driving school, they thought that after 2 minutes of driving lessons that they were now the experts, and they're telling me everything that I'm doing wrong after having been on the road for 25 years. But the reality is that we often look to, the kids look to us as role models, and if they're doing something that's really in your heart of heart, you know is the right thing, it often starts to dictate behavior. It works actually from the bottom up. And so I think it's great that we had kids that were involved in this initiative. I hope that it continues. I know the schools are going to be adopting many of these policies in the years going forward, and I think that that's going to be the largest. Our Boy Scouts are here today. I know that that's a subject that's been something they've been discussing regularly. So if we could teach the kids and they start modeling the behaviors that we're looking for in ourselves, I think slowly but surely we can get to a much better place, and we don't need to do it acrimoniously. We don't need to be at each other's throats. We just learn over time what the right thing to do, and sometimes we can learn as much from our kids than the opposite way around. So thank you all for being part of that great program.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Number 2 on our agenda is a proclamation proclaiming the month of October 2022 as Alpha Delta Kappa Month, and we have a resolution for that. Councilwoman Zambicki? Anyone from?
Welcome, come on up. Yep, welcome to our town council meeting tonight. It's a beautiful Monday night for this meeting, and I'm very honored to be presenting this proclamation for Alpha Delta Kappa. Whereas Alpha Delta Kappa is an international organization for women educators, all members strive to promote excellence in education, strengthen the status and advancement of the teaching profession, serve the educational community, and provide a desirable, healthy, intelligent image of concerned, caring educators. And whereas women in education constitutes a great portion of the nation's workforce and are constantly striving to serve their communities and nation in educational, cultural and charitable programs leading to harmony, happiness, and peace among all people. And whereas the major goals of Alpha Delta Kappa International Honorary Organization for Women Educators are as follows: to give recognition to outstanding educators, to build a fraternal fellowship among educators, adding to their effectiveness in promoting high standards of education, to establish high standards of education, and to promote educational and charitable projects and activities enriching the lives of individuals everywhere and assisting these individuals into a happy, constructive, fulfilling life. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that our mayor, Brad Cohen, of the Township of East Brunswick, commend the Kappa chapter for all their community service and do hereby proclaim the month of October 2022 as Alpha Delta Kappa Month in the Township of East Brunswick and urge all residents to support the efforts of our educators. And on a very personal note, I want to thank this organization because they have donated in East Brunswick to our Bears Necessity Den, which is a gently used and new clothing center supported by the teachers and support staff of East Brunswick. And they have provided shoes and other items over the years, and we truly appreciate that. So thank you so much.
On behalf of Kappa Chapter, we just really want to thank the mayor and the council and the whole township for this wonderful honor. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so very much for what you do. Next, we have a proclamation acknowledging the achievement of the EB Cub 9U baseball team and their coaches. Come on up, everybody. Everybody's part of the group. Come on up. We want you all here. We want you on camera.
Can get in front too a little bit.
Yeah? You had a great year, didn't you? Certainly. Come on, Coach. Come on over here. Do you have all the rest of the coaches with you and everybody else?
Yeah, 3 more back there.
Come on up. Come on up. You guys are all part of it. All right, guys. We have a proclamation. Whereas the East Brunswick Baseball, Softball, and Buddy Ball League offers recreation and travel league programs for all players and all skill levels, age-based programs are offered from age 4 through 16 and focus on player development and teaching the great games of baseball and softball to our players. The primary focus, fun and encouragement, all in a safe, progressive environment. So whereas, as defending District 9 2021 champions, EB9U Cubs won a 5U record at a tournament in Monroe. In July, they clinched the 2022 Northern New Jersey State Championship with another 5-0 clean sweep, which, by the way, congratulations, guys. This is the only third state championship in the last 20 years for EBBL. And whereas the Cubs advanced to the regional finals in Maryland and were crowned New Jersey's best Cal Ripken team. Fantastic. Fantastic. After a 2-2 record, the Cubs advanced to the playoff rounds and then to the regional finals. This was a first for East Brunswick Baseball League. Fantastic. Fantastic. Whereas the Cubs completed a stretch of 27 wins in 28 games and won the American Division USABL. Over the past 18 months, this special group of boys have amassed 73 wins in 92 games of play. Better than the Yankees. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Brad J. Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, congratulate the EB Cubs 9U and their coaches on their achievement and commend them for exhibiting qualities of hard work, dedication, perseverance throughout the season. So you got players of Jake Bornheimer, Joey Cruz, Joey DiStefano, Brody Cohen, Zach Lyman, Robbie McCann, Daniel Negro, Brady Robb, Joey Riley, Ozzie Stefanowicz, and Ethan Rice. Coach Dan Negro, and assistant coaches Jake Bornheimer, Mike Kenyon, Joe Negro, and Mike Robb. Congratulations, gentlemen. No, wait, Bornheimer. Where's Bornheimer? I went to school with Larry Bornheimer.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, it's relative, yeah.
Oh, relative, brother, whatever.
He's my dad's cousin.
Oh, yeah? Okay. You guys want to say anything?
Sure. I'd just like to thank East Brunswick for this. The township has been incredibly supportive to our organization. Thank you, Mayor. I actually did see Mayor at the last state championship in 2020, I think that was. So we were the second team to advance that far. We're very lucky to have these kids, and I'm sure we'll be back next year.
We'll have Mary go out. She wanted Mary.
Yeah. We're going to take a brief recess for a couple of minutes to let everyone leave if they want to leave. That we're getting, you can stay, certainly stay.
The kiddos can go to bed.
You take a break?
They gotta get
It's
up
homework
early for
time.
school.
Yes, it's homework time.
That's right.
They're not leaving.
I'm so tired. That's why I wanted to take a break if you could.
Next on our agenda, we have a presentation by the East Brunswick Police Department in regard to the State Association of Chiefs and all of that. How you doing, Chief?
Good, how are you?
Very good.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nice to see you.
Great seeing you. I'm here for security for all the kids to make sure. So I'm going to introduce Harry Delgado, who is the program coordinator for the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police for their accreditation program.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
So, Mayor, Council President, and Council, I'm here actually to recognize your police department as one of the best police departments in the state of New Jersey, and I bring proof. I am a resident of Middlesex County, I should say that up front, and I at one point worked next door in South Brunswick, so I'm very familiar with the police department, but today I come here in a different capacity, and that's to recognize them as one of only about 33% of all the law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey that have achieved reaccreditation. That means that they became accredited, and then 3 years later, they maintain, their accredited status. So if you indulge me for a couple of minutes, I'd like to share with you the significance of the achievement. So the East Brunswick Township Police Department has made a commitment to adhering to best practices at the state and national level in a highly regarded statewide law enforcement accreditation program. This program, administered through the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, has helped to transparently demonstrate the professionalism and preparedness of state law enforcement agencies. The New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police Law Enforcement Accreditation Program is purposefully designed to enhance the professionalism and transparency in the state's public safety system. During these uniquely challenging times and the threat to our health and safety, encouraging law enforcement agencies to follow standardized practices and policies is a potentially life-saving and cost-effective investment of time and resources. Accreditation gives an agency a preparedness plan and a verification of excellence. So accreditation status represents a significant professional achievement. Accreditation is a process. The foundation of accreditation lies in the adoption of standards containing a clear statement of professional objectives. In the state of New Jersey, there's 112 standards, many of which require multiple proofs of compliance. Accreditation is a progressive and time-proven way of helping law enforcement agencies calculate and improve their overall performances. It is a certification by an independent authority, in this case the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police, that the accredited agency was carefully measured and against an established set of state and national standards. And I shall say that in the case of the East Brunswick Police Department, it many times exceeded those standards. At the end of those the 3 years, we come on site and make sure that they show tangible proof to all those 112 standards. And typically, we do find issues that can be resolved right there on the on-site visit. In the case of the East Brunswick Police Department, we didn't find any. So they actually had an excellent final assessment. Now, research shows that accredited agencies have 11% fewer police professional liability claims, 18% fewer worker compensation claims, and 31% fewer auto liability claims. And moreover, as I understand you are, municipalities that participate in a male-affiliated joint insurance fund stand to receive substantial insurance premium discounts when the police department attains accreditation. But besides all those or in addition to those fiscal advantages, there are other important benefits of accreditation. Accreditation provides objective evidence of an agency's commitment to excellence in leadership, resource management, and service delivery. Government officials can be more confident in the agency's ability to operate efficiently and meet community needs. And accreditation embodies the precepts of community-oriented policing. I see the interaction that you have with the community here. It creates a forum in which police and citizens work together to prevent and control challenges confronting law enforcement and provide a clear direction about community expectations. And certainly officers that belong to an accredited agency can take pride that they have been measured against the high standards in law enforcement. Briefly, in closing, I will share with you and paraphrase some of the comments that are made in a report that is generated during that final on-site that comes to me for review and eventually makes it to the commission. So under the leadership of Chief Frank Lusaco, the high level of competence, leadership, and professionalism is evident within the agency. Leadership, rank and file, are forward-thinking and engaged in self-improvement. They are looking ahead to improve programs, training, and equipment. And without going into details, I tell you that we were all very impressed with their plans for the future. There were no issues found, as I mentioned before, which is truly remarkable. So it is the opinion of the assessment team that the East Brunswick Township Police Department is a highly professional and committed agency which exemplifies all the tenets of law enforcement accreditation at the state and national level. So it is indeed my honor tonight, on behalf of the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Commission, to congratulate Chief Frank Lusaco, Accreditation Manager Captain Frank Sutter, the members of the East Brunswick Township Police Department, the Mayor, Council President, and those citizens that they so proudly serve for achieving state reaccreditation, joining a very exclusive group of law enforcement agencies that have made this important commitment to excellence in policing. So to all, indeed, congratulations.
Chief, you want to have a few words?
Just a few brief words.
I've never seen you say a few brief words.
I know, that's true.
That's beside the point.
Well, after last night, it will be very brief. So that will be hanging in the hallway. I just want to acknowledge Captain Sutter's behind me, and next to him is Lieutenant Jason Fama. They were both the accreditation managers. This is a tremendous undertaking. It's because of them, and as well as the team throughout the agency that they excelled doing this. I'm so impressed on a daily basis. I've spoken to each of you about how humbled I am to be serving this position, and they make me look good, trust me.
Certainly.
Everybody should know that the men and women that serve this town do it with dedication, they do it with honor, pride, and we say honor, integrity, and public trust, and they certainly have earned that. We have the other two members of command staff in attendance, Captain Keeney and Captain Walsh. They're proud members of the agency, and I just welcome coming to work every day with them and serving the public. That's it.
Thank you. Frank, I expect that you'll be hanging that somewhere.
So this will be on display right outside. So if you go outside in the hallway, just down for the police department, there is one of these already hanging there. That's when we got accredited 3 years ago. This is a 3-year process.
Right.
So they've already Captain Sutter's moving on, and Lieutenant Fama is going to be the lead accreditation manager. He's already assembling a team to be prepared for in 3 years, doing this all over again, and hopefully have Mr. Delgado back here with us.
There you go.
But this will be on display in the hallway
you.
right next to the original one.
Well, I thank Captain Sutter, Lieutenant Fama, Captain Keenly, and everything that you all do. We feel more comfortable in town because of the things that you do every day. And, you know, the fact that so many of you are East Brunswick residents, born and raised, makes us feel more comfortable. And Frank, I mean, you and I have talked about this, and hiring East Brunswick guys to be our, or guys and gals, to be our police officers is really, you know, a goal that you and I have talked about for years.
Well,
So,
certainly. I also want to give everybody the opportunity on Thursday, not this Thursday, but a week from, so October 20th. We're having an event at the Brunswick Square Mall called Coffee with a Cop. So you can come out, and any members of the public that will have any questions or concerns, or just want to meet their officers, we're all going to be there, and we're going to have a bunch of other people who will answer any questions anyone might have.
thank you. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor?
Absolutely. I just wanted to add that we are intensely proud of your accomplishments, and it is our role as public servants to make sure that, above all else, we look to and assure public safety, and we rely on you to do that for us. We all need to be participants, as you know that. Everybody needs to be active and involved in looking out for one another, but we rely on our Department of Public Safety for keeping us safe, for making sure that things are taken care of that we don't even know about, but at the end of the day makes for a safe community, and that brings value to every one of us that live here. It's our most important responsibility. And this certification just validates to me, and I should to the rest of the community, that among your peers, that you are considered among the best. And it doesn't get any better than that. So congratulations to each and every one of you that had something or anything to do with getting us that level of respect and appreciation. Thank you.
And on an individual, aside from the agencies, on an individual level, the command staff has all become accredited individuals, and we're expanding that program. So it's not just the agency, but it's actual individual achievements by way of certain professional development, formal education, and experience in rank. So we're trying to achieve that to hold the standards up here in East Brunswick. So I appreciate that.
Very good.
Thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you.
All right.
Thank you, Chief.
Have a great night.
And that is something we should all be proud of from the Township of East Brunswick, that our you know, Division of Public Safety tends to year after year become accredited as one of the best within the county. And thank you, Chief, and the rest of the staff. We're going to go into our reports section. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Council President. First, I want to thank everybody publicly who was involved in putting together East Brunswick Day. Yesterday, it was an incredible turnout. I think it was a record. I don't know that with certainty, but if it wasn't, it was pretty darn close. And everybody, from the vendors to the residents to those that were involved working for the town, and those that came in from out of town, which actually most people there were from East Brunswick, which makes it kind of unique because we do a lot of things through our Parks and Recs programs, and in many instances, it's not necessarily only East Brunswick. 4th of July, many of our other festivals are attended by mostly East Brunswick residents, but people from the surrounding communities. But East Brunswick Day is primarily an East Brunswick event, so it really was a wonderful thing to see so many people out there, and we certainly made the right decision moving it from last weekend to this past weekend, so that was great. So I thank everybody involved, especially our Parks and Recs department under the leadership of Mike Reisner. Also wanted to remind residents that we will be having Restaurant Week starting October 17th through October 23rd. There's about 20 local restaurants that are all going to be participating. Information on those restaurants that are participating, what type of deals that are being offered will be on the Township's website. So feel free to go on that and look up any of your favorite restaurants, or if it's one that you haven't tried before, this would be a great opportunity to actually try something you haven't before, and of course be supporting our local businesses. So I know, short tonight, right? That's my whole report.
Wow.
I know, shocker.
Joe Screwler, our business administrator.
Yes, I just wanted to bring to your attention on our consent agenda this evening. We do have a change order for contract for BlackRock Enterprises for the pavement management program. Mr. Kipp and his staff have done an excellent job over the years. We get our bid packages out early. We are able to obtain good pricing in the industry. And with that, we allowed it a certain amount of money for our road paving program. At the end of the program, we also look at streets or water main breaks that may have occurred, and we have an amendment or a change order to the contract if the budget allows. In this case, it does. So we're going to be repairing some roads where there may have been a water main break. We'll get them out there and take advantage of the prices that we got earlier on in the year. Also, with this change order, if you recall, we were talking about in the past when we did our water rate studies, earlier in this year, we awarded a professional service contract with an engineering firm in partnership with the city of New Brunswick to do an interconnect over the Burnett Street bridge there.
Certainly.
Our prices were so good that we wanted to take advantage of them and have BlackRock now extend the water line that is at the top of the hill all the way down to that particular bridge. So New Brunswick has the water line basically down near the fire department on the other side of the bridge. We will have our water line down there, and then the next phase of the project will actually be the interconnect. But we would be required to get it down to that area in order to get the connection taking place. So we thought it was a smart idea to give us service reliability by being prepared if necessary, to get that interconnect done as soon as possible. So the change order there is just not a change for little items. This is a change order to effectuate extending that water line down that roadway and having that roadway paved with the pricing that we got in 2022. And then when we move next year to actually facilitate the interconnection with New Brunswick, over there, we are ready to go. New Brunswick will be ready to go, and we'll make that project a little bit shorter and ensuring quality water service for the residents of East Brunswick. Thank you.
But, Joe, just let me say, I mean, that's more a connection of us giving back to New Brunswick than New Brunswick giving to us.
It's both, sir.
Yes. I mean, but ideally, we draw more water, and we have an ability to give them back water traditionally, and we've done that in the past. I remember a few years ago, they needed our water.
Correct.
To go back.
I mean, the shared service agreement is put in place. God forbid there's a water main break somewhere and we need to cap it and we need to provide service. So an interconnect is always advantageous. We also have now, if you recall, when we did the Main Street water line, we did it to the bridge on Main Street, and on the other side of that bridge is Sayreville's.
Right.
So eventually, we'd like to have an interconnect with them, so if we lose service or have higher water needs, we'll be able to interconnect there. It's just good government to interconnect with other agencies.
Agreed.
To get fault tolerance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, on Restaurant Week, it's not only restaurants. There's some good ice cream places in there. So for all the kids in the room, McDifico's is in there, Scoot to My Lou, other dessert-type places. 6 novelties, buy one, get one free at McDifico's. Already put my order in, so get there early.
There you go. Well done. What?
Come up now, she has a whole list of the whole restaurant.
And the public comment area.
We'll do it in public. Attorney, Mr. Baker?
Thank you, Council President. Recall a number of years ago, the council voted to participate in the national...
There you go. Yeah, mute, Mike.
Okay, recall a few years ago, the council voted to participate in the national opioid litigation along with 50 other states and thousands of municipalities. The case has been settled nationwide. You've read about it in the papers, on TV, $22.8 billion. The township just received notice of its second installment will be paid by the defendants in the case. 70% of those funds will have to go to opioid remediation efforts, additional costs that the town's incurred as a result of it. It's not a lot of money when you divide it up amongst the thousands. So far, it'll be about $22,000 to the town. There will be more payments, and we just received notice of that yesterday, actually Friday, and our CFO is already processing it.
And that goes to traffic safety, or, I mean...
No, it's to remediate, it's to offset the cost of that the town might experience because of opioids.
Okay.
Such as if we had a higher healthcare expenses because of opioid use.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Baker. Township Clerk, any reports?
Just a few items, Council President. So, as everyone knows, the general election is coming up. That will be held on November 8th. I just want everyone to know that the commencement of the mail-in ballot has already begun. That was mailed out on September 24th. If you are in receipt of your mail-in ballot, you have options in terms of how you can return the ballot to the Board of Elections so that your vote can count. You can return it through regular mail using the U.S. Postal Service at no cost to you whatsoever. You can drop it off at 11 Kennedy Boulevard in East Brunswick, which is the Board of Elections, or you can conveniently come to the municipal complex and drop your ballot there. We do have a ballot drop box located by the parking lot where the municipal court and police department is. That's that. As it pertains to the last day to register to vote, that will be on Tuesday, October 18th. So if you're not registered to vote, your last day to do so for this coming election will be October 18th. We will also start the early vote-in on October 29th through November 6th. Early vote-in will be held at the Community Arts Center. The hours of operation will be Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that's Monday through Friday, and that's Monday through Saturday, and on Sunday, it will be from 10 to 6 p.m. As it pertains to animal licensing, the Township Clerk's Office will be processing all animal and food licensing going forward. We will be sending out notices for the year 2023 in terms of the renewal of all animal licenses. So for anyone that has an animal, we ask that you, once you receive that notice, to respond as soon as possible. We ask that you not delay in terms of responding to that notice. A lot of residents unfortunately do delay, and they are assessed a late fee of $5, and unfortunately sometimes worse. So we do ask that you kindly respond at your earliest convenience. And that's all I have to report for today.
Thank you so much. Any council, committee, or board reports? Seeing none?
I have.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
Councilwoman?
Just two reminders. October 22nd is our second annual Harvest Festival. And if you missed it last year, you missed a great event. There's music, there's some wine, there's a lot of different types of crafts, and you could walk around, and you also could get a walkthrough of the museum, and it's just beautiful. It's in the historic section. Also, on November 8th, Mayor Cohn's Charity Fund Gala is, did I say November 8th, yeah. November 9th, rather, is the Mayor Cohn's Charity Gala, and it starts at 6 o'clock. The price is $125 per person, $1,000 for a table of 10. The honorees this year is Margaret Pemberton, who works with Replenish Feeding Middlesex County, Adam Neary, Playhouse 22, and various others. EB Chinese and Food and Restaurant, they did a lot during the pandemic. And the EB VFW Post 133 is it. You can make your checks payable to Mayor Cohen's Charity Fund and send it to P.O. Box 234, East Brunswick, New Jersey, 08816. Money is due on the 15th, but I'm extending it till next week, till the 20th. So if you can get it in, please do. So it'll be a great event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President.
Yes, certainly.
East Brunswick Cable Television and Telecommunication Advisory Committee, which I'm a member of, we had our meeting on September 20th, 2022. First thing I wanted to say was our welcoming session of Troy Bailey as one of the new members of the committee. It's refreshing to see some new faces, some younger faces get involved in local government, and that's the perfect way in which you can start. If young people were to ask me, that's where I tell them to begin. Look, contact the mayor's office, see what committees are available so that you can get onto a committee and get involved. With regard to our meeting, we meet twice a year. So this was interesting that we had only one complaint registered during that 6-month period, so that speaks volumes to the service that is being provided. EBTV came in and joined the fray and talked about the limitations on sporting productions because of the COVID crisis, but how things have gotten better, especially with regard to the high school all-purpose turf field. I don't want to call it a football field because we have girls playing lacrosse up there, we have girls playing soccer, we have field hockey being played up there, and they were really happy to see that the field had been finished and striped and painted so that all of the teams could get a fair shake at playing up at the high school and having the game recorded, broadcast, so that the players can have that as an archival thing for showing, grandma the game who couldn't come down from Massachusetts to watch, or even having it labeled in their archives so that they can show their children someday. Again, I think the big news was the franchise renewal, which is coming up at the end of next year, and that's going to surely cause a lot of real good conversation from this dais with regard to the direction that we are going. And the big announcement of Dave Ambrosi retiring from being the director of EBTV, and Dave's been doing it for years, so we wish him a lot of joy and success, whatever that word success means in retirement, because I'm retired and I've had success. Water Policy Committee, another one of the committees that I'm on, and you've heard me often say the pleasure that I have representing our community on the water policy. The big thing was water meter replacement, which is going on full steam ahead. I just happen to be lucky. I've reported back to you about how it happened at the McAvoy residence, and we were 100% pleased with the process. What happened is that the company that has been doing the work has experienced, like everybody else, a slowdown in workers, and as a result, a slowdown in the amount of homes that they have been able to reach. But not that it's a problem, because Dan Losick reported to us that within the next year, all the houses will be refit with the new meters. Route 18 project, real simple. I know the contract was awarded to Earl, and as soon as I heard the word Earl, the Earl company is just synonymous with road construction. You see them all over the state with their green and yellow trucks. So I was happy to see that they have the project, and they're going to be starting, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Crisculo, sometime in February, and it's in and around a one-year one-year project. I'm sure I have some more to say in here, but I think I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. And listen, from my perspective, with regard to redevelopment and being the chair of the redevelopment agency, we had a great conference this week, press conference, in regard to the start of the redevelopment on Route 18, where we're going to be knocking down, and if anyone wants to drive up Route 18, you can see the buildings that are being knocked down already. And, the developer is full steam ahead, and this is a great thing for the township to see these buildings that have been sitting vacant for many, many years, being taken down and turning into something new. Within 2 years, we expect that we'll be seeing occupancies there, and this is something that we have all of us been working toward for the past several years. And Mayor, I appreciate you bringing me in and making me part of it. And this is something that's going to transform Route 18. And when you get this going on Route 18, it's going to spark other property owners to revitalize their properties as well. So this week was the transformation of our Route 18, and I am just excited about it, having been working on it for many, many years. So thank you for all of your support. Thank the residents for their support, and you're going to start seeing transformation on Route 18. So thank you. Any other council reports? No? Ms. Loeffel, will you please read the public statement regarding the public comment session?
Will do. The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the East Brunswick Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 5 minutes or less. The public may use this opportunity to question any item listed on the consent agenda and request that such item be removed from the consent agenda to be discussed and voted on separately. Only one member of the public should approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from the member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond, or to ask the administration to respond. If the questions require more detailed responses, the council president or administration may ask the member of the public to make an appointment with the appropriate township official during regular business hours. The township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting.
Thank you. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please limit your comments to 5 minutes. And please state your name and address for the record. Yes, ma'am? Come on.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, Council President Wendell, members of the Town Council, and Mayor Cohen. My name is Mary Pan, 223 Milltown Road. I'm a member of the East Brunswick Business and Economic Growth Advisory Commission. I'm here with Robert Zuckerman, the Economic Development Officer. Our colleagues Kim Canetta and Kieran Carmen from the East Brunswick Arts Coalition could not be here with us tonight, but we are very excited to come here and speak to you about, surprise, East Brunswick Restaurant Week 2022. Yeah. We share your enthusiasm, both Mayor and the business administrator who have already mentioned it. It will be held next week from Monday, October 17th to Sunday, October 23rd. Restaurant Week will celebrate the town's culinary and cultural richness. The week-long dining festival features several of Middlesex County's best restaurants, including small businesses owned by and run by women and minorities. Participating restaurants range from New Jersey's fine dining restaurants to some familiar favorites, and they include Art of Salad, Boomerang Bagels, Casablanca Restaurant, Domoko Sushi Ramen, East Brunswick Chinese Restaurant, Magnificos Ice Cream, Mancini Pizza, Mr. Subs, Orchard Park, Original Thin Crust Pizza Company, Perkins Restaurant and Bakery, Playa Bowls, Rai Rai Ramen, Scoop to My Lou, Spice Paradise, and there are more coming on board soon. We also want to give a special shout out to those who have been collaborating with us to make this possible. The Township of East Brunswick Arts Coalition, and Minuteman Press. As residents of East Brunswick, we are aware of the generosity of our local restaurants when it comes to supporting our school fundraisers, our tricky trays, our Dine to Donate evenings. So please come out to support East Brunswick Restaurant Week. Come out for breakfast or lunch or dinner, whether you dine in or take out. Let these restaurants know how much you appreciate all they do for our community. So for more information on Restaurant Week, please visit us at eastbrunswick.org, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and tag us with hashtag EBRW22. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak to you tonight about Restaurant Week.
Very good. Anyone else from the public? Yes, sir, over there. You, sir.
Hi, my name is Drew Weingarth. I live at 2705 Commons Drive. Thank you, as always, thank you everyone for your time and service. Everyone involved at last week's redevelopment press conference, thank you very much for holding that on October 4th. I have previously talked at council meetings to discuss observations regarding the fireworks display ordinance. I hope I have done so in an unbiased manner. Goal is to reach a compromise that works for everyone. The Commercial Fireworks Display Ordinance, number 22-04, was adopted on January 24th of this year. Mr. Baker explained at the last meeting that salute shells are the really loud ones, and nicely tried to provide us some sound effects to demonstrate the differences. The first permit issued after the ordinance was adopted was for an event held on April 30th, and unfortunately, it was very loud. But the council took that aside and then placed a stay hold on permits. The council met with the fireworks company to test different sounds on August 8th. At the last meeting, which was September 12th, was your last meeting, where council approved a permit for a September 16th event. The goal was to use that as another test case. Unfortunately, the sound was no different than the event held in April. I wrote to the council, and I thank Councilwoman Zimbicki very much for writing back. Councilwoman Sullivan reminded that Civic Ready send out advance notification at the last meeting. She wanted it in a certain time frame, and I think to reach out to more people. I found it to be very effective. I think it did serve its goal on that. Several notifications were sent. I'm going to do a shout out for Civic Ready, actually. On our township's website, eastbrunswick.org, on the homepage, there's a section that says New Notification System at the top right hand. That's one way to access it. Another way is www.eastbrunswick.org/alerts. I think it's a great resource. Not only do you get to choose, it's very easy to use, select, not only do you get to choose what notifications you want sent, you get to decide, do you want it emailed, do you want it text, or have it both? And many people may be reminded that that's the old Nixle system. The September 16th fireworks event that happened lasted for almost 9 minutes. It started approximately 7:50 p.m., ended approximately 7:59 p.m. What was strange was that a second volley went off at approximately 8:35 p.m., a half hour later. I feel that the section of town that where I live in and that people are concerned, that the geography for the Commons at Kingswood section, it borders Cranberry Knoll, Care One, and the Park Chateau. We are actually downhill. Cranberry Road would be on top. If to enter our community on Commons Drive, you would have to drive downhill, and there's 2 cul-de-sacs. We consider that like the valley. So when certain fireworks do go off, there's a weird wave echo reverberation that literally goes across the community. I have 3 suggestions for your consideration. Number 1, where the fireworks are actually launched could make a difference. We could say, what makes these event fireworks any different from the fair fireworks? And I think that's based on the location, and again, there might be a justification and reasons why they're being launched where they're launched. But the difference is they're being launched along near closer to Cranberry Road. So what's loud to me or to someone might not be loud to somebody else. But it kind of makes sense that where they're currently being launched, it's actually closer to the development. The fairground fireworks are being launched all the way in the back by the old soccer fields. If those people know where the water tower is along Fern Road, I am in no way suggesting that we push the fireworks back there, because then that wouldn't be fair to the homes that are along that section of Fern Road. I am offering a compromise that maybe you take that distance, maybe come halfway, and maybe, possibility of relaunching those fireworks along the fairground property. Second suggestion is...
So you have exceeded your 5-minute limit.
Seriously?
Yes, you have.
Oh, man. Can I make 2 quick points? Two,
quick.
Right. Decibel level. You can geek out. The noise ordinance within the township is an educational read. My second consideration is that maybe put in the ordinance for the fireworks some decibel level in conjunction with the noise ordinance. And my third point is you've stated at other previous meetings that you have a working relationship with Starfire Corporation. I'm not saying to get rid of them, but maybe if you bid out, look into other companies, maybe they have another solution that they could provide. As always, thank you for listening, and good luck in your upcoming election. Thank you very much.
Just from my position, yes, there's been a working relationship with Starfire because they've done our fireworks 4th of July for many, many years. But honestly, I am not happy with what has been presented to us, and I'm not happy to add any more fireworks for the Orchard Park or the Chateau going forward until we come to a position where we are all in an understanding that we put an ordinance in place, Mr. Baker, that indicated that the fireworks would be somewhat silent. And it was presented to us on an evening that this council went and saw a display that was pretty quiet, but others were then done afterward that this council approved, and they weren't not nearly as quiet as was presented to us one evening. So I think it's going to be difficult for this council to approve any fireworks going forward until we have an understanding as to the sound that's coming out of those fireworks. Mr. Baker, you wanted to add something?
No, I was just going to say that the town doesn't have anything to do with the Chateau using and who they use. We don't have any control over that. We do bid out the township's fireworks, and that obviously has to go to the low bidder under state statute.
Thank you. And anyone else from the public wishing to speak tonight? Yes, sir.
Oh, good evening. Alex Spielman, 6 Douglas Road. First of all, it's been a while. I hope everyone's been doing
How are you?
well. The reason I haven't been here lately is that obviously I am on the ballot this year, and so didn't want to seem partisan. I wanted to keep myself away from everything so I could be as even keel for everything that's going on.
Certainly.
The reason I'm coming is because I was given notice that during East Brunswick Day, which went off without event, it was an amazing event, people were handing out flyers that were just sending disparaging things about me and attacking my character. I personally do not appreciate that, and that was happening. And I also heard that there were petitioners of the event that were being, these were being circulated around, these are flyers. I was disappointed to hear that, and whenever it comes to these civic events, they should be about encouraging the wonderfulness of our towns, not disparaging people.
Certainly.
Secondly, as we were talking about the plastic, getting away one bottle at a time, I had a suggestion that we could use for these things. And I've always been a very big supporter of using hemp-based plastics. We can use those for trash bags, we can use that for shopping bags, plastic straws, they can become hemp-based. Bottles can be used by hemp. And the nice thing about that is, first of all, we're getting ourselves away from petrol. The second thing is that hemp can be grown relatively quickly, and it's also relatively safe and effective environmentally, and it's also biodegradable. So these are 2 suggestions about that particular thing. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, sir, back in the rear. Oh, sorry. My bad. How are you doing, lady?
Good. Litina Ramati to Bernard Road, East Brunswick. I just want to say one more thing about getting past plastic one bottle at a time. So we encourage everybody to reduce their use of plastic disposable water bottles. But I also have a suggestion on what we can do, and not just what we can do. And I invite everybody to come to the library on October 19th when Dan Losick, Director of Public Works, will give a presentation about quality of East Brunswick water, how the water is monitored, and how safe it is. It's a hybrid event. It will also be on Zoom. You can find all the information on the library's website. And I hope to see everybody there.
Thank you. We spoke about this yesterday. Thank you for the the update. Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Antoinette Evola, 45 Merrill Avenue, East Brunswick, New Jersey. Hi, Sharon.
Candidate.
Yes, I am a candidate. And I'm actually going to speak a little bit about the debate, because I didn't get to finish what I wanted to say, which is why I'm speaking now. During the debate, you guys presented some data supporting why there hasn't been any action done on Sunburst Drive. Those traffic studies were done with speed meters. Nobody is going to get an accurate result when you're seeing these meters. Everybody slows down. I slow down, you slow down. The only way you can get an accurate result and use proper data is by doing it anonymously. That's number one. Number two, I reached out to a bunch of professionals, people who actually do this for a living. I'm not into the DOT traffic, so I didn't know what would be a good option for these people. So for my friends at Sunburst, here's my plan for you. So our team has decided that when we are elected, these are the things that we're going to do. And it's not going to be costly to the town, so you guys might want to implement this before. You got 29 days. What you guys would consider, or should consider, is you can just put a sign on Sunburst, right there that says weight limit, 4 tons strictly enforced. And if you guys want to enforce it, Friday is actually the day that they experience the most traffic. And if you go there and you look at these trucks, these aren't servicing East Brunswick residents or our businesses. They're servicing South River. So South River traffic is giving our residents a problem, and we're just allowing it by not doing anything about it. If you would also consider, you can just write on the street, no trucks with paint. People can read. That can help. You could, if you want to spend about $10,000, because I priced it, you could put small median islands right on Sunburst Road and River Road, put another one on Sunburst and Old Bridge Turnpike, and you could mount some signs that say no trucks, keep right or keep left, depending on what side of the street you're on, and that might help. What we could even do is the same for Edward Street and River Road. A lot of residents are getting trucks on those streets. A lot of these trucks have decided that these areas are going to get them to where they need to go quicker because they've learned it through the traffic detour from the water main break. Another plan that I think would be great, and when this engineer explained it to me, it actually made so much sense, and again, wouldn't be costly. You can convert a three-way stop sign right on the corner of Sunburst and Ivana, and Everton is actually a two-way street that if you look at it, it's too narrow. So if you have a truck and a regular car coming at the same exact time, someone has to pull over. It doesn't fit two cars. So maybe when it was constructed years ago, it made sense and people didn't have that many cars, not many cars in the street, but now it doesn't make sense anymore. So that turning into a one-way would actually stop it as well. You wouldn't have to worry about too much money going for the signs because you could just place a stop sign on those posts that are already there on the corners. Now I'm going to talk about my block, because my block is, Joe and Chris Golo gets an email from me often, because my block, my neighbors are not seeing any results. I was here on June 27th, and I talked about what's been going on in my block. My kids ride bicycles. I would assume everybody in this town is concerned about children riding bicycles. And I told you guys what was going on. And Joe looked into it. He cut the leaves off the sign, and we had some cars slowing down. On July 27th, my neighbor had two of his cars totaled. One car moved 4 feet. It's on the police report. You guys can pull that up. He moved 4 feet, and one car flipped over. That's not a car that's doing 25 miles an hour. I don't even think that's a car that's doing 35 miles an hour. So what we have to start realizing is that when I'm coming here and I'm telling you guys what's going on, I'm not a squawking resident. I'm actually a resident who's listening to other residents when I go door knocking. And this is what I'm hearing. And they're all watching right now because majority of Sunburst Drive have small children, and this is why they're worried about the trucks and the speeding and the chemical tanks that are driving through. On August 8th, that my neighbor came here and told you guys what happened. And you know what he told me this weekend when I went to speak to him and see if anybody reached out to him? Nobody's reached out to him, and he's experienced even more speeding. He's home most of the day. I'm all over the place. So I'm relying on my neighbors to tell me what's going on. I left this meeting on September 12th. And not only did I pull into my driveway after literally giving you guys a shout out for cutting the leaves, but a car came down my block the wrong way, speeding. I managed to get a picture quickly, and in the picture, Joe can tell you, all you see is red streaks. That's how fast it was going. The moral of the story is, you guys have been ignoring people who have been coming here and telling you what's going on Sunburst, on Cranberry, on my block, and you guys, I just gave you basically the whole plan. That's not even a very expensive thing. So hopefully you have the time to put up.
Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Yes, sir.
Yale Shaw, 1 Jennifer Court. I don't want this to sound like I'm piling on, but I do want to reinforce what Antoinette said. Just looking at the numbers, and from the debate Mr. Wendell had you said, there was only 3.27% of the recent Sunburst speed study that the cars were traveling over 35 miles an hour. That's about 800 cars in a 2-week span. If some child or person is hit at 30 miles an hour, there's a 50% chance that that person will die. If you go up to 40 miles per hour, there is a 90% chance that person will die. And it's not just Sunburst, and it's not just Merrill. I live off of Village Drive in Society Hill, and there's a long street there where the cars just come flying. It's becoming more and more that East Brunswick has just a lot of cars that are speeding. So having a little bit more police presence in East Brunswick, and not just in certain areas, would be very helpful. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Yes, sir.
How are we doing? Dave Herrera, 32 Cosgrove Court. I haven't said a lot this past
Candidate.
year. Candidate Dave Herrera, 32 Cosgrove Court. Thank you, Mr. Wendell. I just wanted to, I guess, echo, since that happens up here, we'll do it over here. We have gone to Sunburst, and we have talked to a lot of these residents, and I will echo that when we spoke here about what was happening on Cranberry Road, you did put that speed sign, and we saw it dramatic. Fortunately enough, you know, my mom is up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, and she has this new thing. You've created a job for her, and now she takes videos every morning. So we do see that. So I will say that when those speed trap signs are up, people are obviously on their best behavior. One of the things, we just obviously saluted a whole bunch of people. We had the baseball team and the girls, the Boy Scouts, and the police are doing an amazing job. I know we talked about it during the debate, but I've been going around and speaking to a lot of the officers, and what I've noticed is that since 1997, East Brunswick has gained 4,000 residents and lost almost 12 police officers in that time. So we've gained people and lost police officers. So there's about one police officer for every 600 residents. And now we're talking about moving East Brunswick into the next direction, right? Which has the apartment complexes, like you said, will be done in the next 2 years. So how do we have a plan to obviously help the amazing accredited police that we have here in town, while also making sure that we can keep areas like Sunburst safe, like Cranberry, like Village Drive safe? So that's obviously number one. Number two, I want to echo what Alex said, and it's a little odd that something like that would happen at East Brunswick Day, considering it is National Bully Prevention Month, and we're seeing that's borderline bullying of what's happening here to people. And it doesn't just happen in person, it happens online, right? People cyberbully people. It's a big thing in town. And obviously, being that it's election season, we know tensions are high and people like to have the keyboard fingers. But we need to remember that at the end of the day, we all do live here in town, and that we should have some civility. Finally, I want to wish you and you and you best of luck, right? And you as well, Ms. Winston, the best of luck in your upcoming election. And I think the best thing that we can do moving forward is to start to listen, because I actually wanted to sympathize with you for the fireworks that you have going on. And the fireworks happen, what, maybe, I don't know, maybe once a month, once every 2 weeks, once a month? Kevin McAvoy shaking his head. What about the residents that we just spoke to that live at Cross Point that told us they have to sleep with headphones in because they can't sleep from the ongoing traffic that's going 24 hours a day? We knocked there around, 11 o'clock in the morning, and you could not even talk to residents because of the sound of the construction, not to mention the sound of the trucks, the cars, the horns. We actually witnessed an accident happen over in that area, too. There was a really bad accident. I hope everyone's okay at the corner of Summerhill and Old Stage last night. But what's the response to them? I see we're looking into ordinances for fireworks that happen once a month, and that should happen. Nobody should have to hear that. I mean, there was a party happening across the street from me, and I almost called the police last night. And I was like, who am I becoming? I hit 32, and now I'm ready to call the police on a party. I've reached that age, Jimmy. And but what can we do for those people? What's the answer for the people that are going to see the Renee Road expansion, the Tice's Lane expansion, the 2 lane closures on Route 18, the traffic increases, where people are paying good money to be here that have to sleep with earplugs in? Is there a solution for them? Good question, right? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Yes, sir.
Good evening. Joe Kincaid, 10 Winslow Avenue, candidate for council. Just wanted to know, with the influx of folks coming in with the redevelopment, is there any suggestions or ideas for hiring more police officers or allocating more resources to our first responder community? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing? Yes, sir.
New face, but an old.
You're not a new face. You're an
Not
old
to you,
face.
but I am to some of these people. Lee Allen, 1 Culver Lane,
How you
East
doing,
Brunswick,
Lee?
New Jersey. I just want to add another street and maybe another wrinkle to the same traffic problem. I live on River Road, and I know it's a shared road with South River in sections, and it'd probably take a dual thing, and I know you can't do anything about the trucks because it's a county spur, but people drive that road probably in excess of 70 miles an hour at times. I haven't radared them, but I'm a pretty good judge of speed. I've watched racing most of my life, and I've done a little bit of it myself. So I don't know what to do with River Road. You can't imagine the noise that goes on. Fortunately, it does slow down at night, but during the day, it's frightening. But again, it's going to take a shared thing with South River because that's part of their road too.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lee. Anyone else from the public? Yes, in the back.
Board, Mr. Mayor, I received a letter from you the other day. My taxes went up.
Name and address, please.
Because...
Name and address.
58 Deerfield Road.
Name?
Thomas Ingrasani.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And I was shocked to see that November 1st, I have to come up with $400 more for this year. And it says that you were shocked also about the price increase from up to 23 cents. Are you aware that the school is giving Chromebooks to every student? Maybe that increased the price a little bit to the taxes. I mean, in 2020, they hardly went to school. 21, there was hardly any school. So that fuel and everything you saved that year should have been allotted for this year because the price went up, inflation went up because of our president. And I just feel that those Chromebooks, I think, are unnecessary. So, and that is too expensive to the internet system. I mean, my daughter's paying $35 in each Chromebook for 2 students just to have insurance on it. So I think that added to the expense. If you could just check into it, that might reduce our taxes a little bit. So I don't know where they're talking about that River Road, but put a speed bump there with a sign, speed bump. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Listen, as much as I'd like to say about the school taxes, I mean, we have no jurisdiction over that with the schools. The schools set their own tax rate, and we don't have any jurisdiction. But, sir? Certainly. Come on over.
My name is Anthony Federico. I live at 9 Everett Drive, the road adjacent to Sunburst Drive and River Road, perpendicular to River Road. I've lived there 44 years. The traffic has greatly increased over the years. The people want to avoid the light at Main and Old Bridge Turnpike. When the construction was going on, they learned a new route. So we're seeing that traffic. Plus, on several occasions, I almost had an accident because people are speeding up the hill or down the hill because I come through Ivana and I make a stop sign there. Also, at the top of the hill, you cannot always see the traffic coming from Ruse Lane down Old Bridge Turnpike. And you wait there for 10 or 15 minutes sometimes, just waiting because the people are inconsiderate to the residents that are trying to get out. We have looked for a light. We can't get a light. That would help. And that would also avoid people from coming from Bordentown, avoiding the Main Street and Old Bridge Turnpike light, because there's always traffic there. Also on Old Bridge Turnpike, coming off the 18 ramp, the people are blowing the stop signs. They're not stopping. And again, almost had several accidents. So that area has become highly congested. Somebody, either you put more police and the trucks, you could feel the road rumbling from the earth movers. See, I see this every day. I'm retired. Somebody coming there and coming once a year or once a month is not going to see what goes on every day. It's totally avoided. I'm a taxpayer too.
Certainly.
We have to have either a light or that road has to be closed to truck traffic, period. No trucks. And again, speed bumps would be welcome because at night, late at night, they drag race on the street. They come down the hill, it's like a roller coaster, and they go up the hill. So maybe having more police present, plus the speed bumps and a light. That maybe would discourage some of the speedsters. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Connie. Ah, come on up, Connie. We're all good. How have you been?
I got poisoned by Moderna.
Did you?
Really?
I'm sorry
I
for
have.
that. I am absolutely sorry for that.
And I went to emergency and they puffed me away. And I was supposed to go to the hospital Friday. I went to Englishtown Flea Market. My legs are like
Good for you.
Hey, my legs are like that of somebody that has congestive heart failure. This is not a joke. That is poison. They want to poison the old people. But you're not going to poison this lady. My
No,
father made me
I know.
tough. Okay, you know who I am. I'm Constance Lonzak Belliski.
Certainly.
I've been in this town forever.
She
And
was
ever
on
and ever
Summer
and
Road.
ever. And this is our town. Our town. Our town. It's not your town. With that redevelopment, we pay taxes. It's our property. You're not going to run a Jersey City or Trenton or New York on 18 Highway. We are not going to be loaded with apartments. People moved in the 50s from New York to get away to the suburbs. And now you're going to make it New York, well, make it Jersey City or Newark. And it started with Obama. He wants the no, I have it all printed out. He wants the suburban areas destroyed. And then he gave it to this idiot who's following up. And then it goes to the governor, and then it goes to the mayor. Well, we're not going to put up with it. I've been here. We got pushed along. We farmers got pushed along till we got pushed out. You can't do that. These people invested in their property, their homes. That's their biggest investment. They cannot be trampled on. And I didn't vote for any of you, and it'll never happen.
You voted for me once, or maybe twice.
Did I use up my 5 minutes?
No, I'm just saying you voted for me once, maybe twice.
No, you know me. My
Of
father
course I
said,
do.
say it. You got something to say it. And I say it. I don't beat around the bush. I mean, I don't start fights, but I do stand my ground.
Certainly.
And I have my marbles yet. That's a blessing, because usually at this age, they're lost, and then everybody walks all over you. It starts with the family, but I take care of them too. I change the will every time.
Good
So
for
they
you,
listen.
Connie. Good for you.
Every time, my daughter, this you gotta hear. I went to get a watermelon because everything is too much for everybody. So I'm coming home and my daughter and her husband are leaving. I said, where are you going, Celine? She says, I'm leaving. She had words with her brother. They can't stand each other. So I said, you have to stay. She says, no, I'm going. I said, no, you're not. She says, I'm going. I said, changing the will Monday. She sat down. He who has the pen sets the rules. Remember that.
Certainly.
You know how to raise kids that way.
Lonzak
Thank you
Lane.
for listening.
Lonzak Lane, you got a road named after your family.
Listen, when Brunswick Square came in, they decided they're going to dump all the water on our farm because there's a low area. So you know what? My father loaded the double-barrel shotgun and stood on our
You told me this story before.
And he said, I'm going to kill you if you move. They brought some guy in, and they bought 5 acres for $1,200, big sale. We got rich on that. And you can't buy anything with a bushel of dirt. I mean,
That's right.
everybody thinks you're rich because you were a farmer.
Certainly.
I tried that with paying taxes. I said, I came with a load of dirt. Where do you want it? They said, dump it in the parking lot. Thank you.
Connie, thank you.
No, we love our town. We love
Thank
our
you.
town. I love our town. I want it for everybody.
I know that.
We don't want all apartments. You know what? It rips my heart out when I go on Tyson's Lane. That's an atrocity. And you know why the apartments in back of Walmart, they were sinking? Because they put it on the clay pits. They should have asked me. My husband played in those clay pits. That's why the foundation was sinking. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Connie.
What else?
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak?
How do you follow that?
Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. We'll move on to our consent agenda. Anyone from council looking to remove anything or separate anything from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion for a resolution to consent agenda to approve resolution 17500 to 17520. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilwoman Zambicki. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Bahal. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki? Yes. And Council President Wendell?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Seeing that we have no ordinances or anything for introduction tonight, we will move on to the good of the cause. Anyone have anything for the good of the cause this evening? Yes. Council Vice President.
Councilwoman Sullivan, did you want to say something first?
That's okay. I just was reminding everybody, friends of the library, the book sale's going on. I forgot to mention that at Brunswick Square Mall until the 16th of this month.
Thank you.
Stop by. They have lots of good books, lots of good games.
Thank you.
That's it. Short and simple.
Saturday, October 15th, 9 a.m., Heavenly Farms, East Brunswick Police Department versus East Brunswick Firemen in flag football. $5 to benefit breast cancer. Once again, Saturday, October 15th at 9 a.m. October 15th through October 16th at 5:30 p.m., tours of the Chestnut Cemetery Historic District. October 15th through the 16th. October 17th, Town Hall meeting with Mayor Cohen. October 19th,
Where?
Down Monroe.
Thank you. Got some people paying attention to me. Very nice. Tom Monroe, thank you. October 19th, like Liddy Haramati has just said, water quality discussion. Water quality discussion with Dan Losick, Director of Water, Sewer, Public Works, EBPL, sponsored by the Environmental Commission. And that's going to take place at the library. October 20th, 6 p.m., this is a big one. Hammersholt Auditorium, East Brunswick Police Department Award Ceremony. October 20th, 6 p.m. October 22nd, 11:30 a.m., Harvest Festival in the Historic District. I'm sure you've seen some of the flyers on the various social media platforms. October 22nd, Brunswick Square Mall, 10 a.m., Coffee with a Cop. See you there. And 9 a.m. Environmental Commission tour on the same day of the Middlesex County landfill. It's a bus tour. You can contact, I guess, the mayor's office for further information.
Yeah, you have to sign up.
That's a big one. You got to sign up for
Make
that.
sure they have enough buses.
Woo! A lot was said there. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President.
Council
Anyone else?
President,
Councilman
just
Bahal.
like to add another event. On October 15th, we are having our second Diwali event at Community Arts Center. So everyone is welcome. Great event to attend. From 1 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Wow, thank you.
you.
Anyone, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, there's
two other town hall events, I don't know if that were mentioned, one tomorrow at the Central School area, and the one on the 13th, Thursday, which is in the Chittick School area.
Don't we have the Coptic Church with their festival coming up?
That was a license approval tonight.
Just so everybody knows, the Coptic Festival is coming up.
October 15th and 16th.
October 15th to 16th at the Coptic Church on Reeve Avenue. Anyone else for the good of the cause?
Just,
Yes, go ahead.
October 30th, the East Brunswick Square Mall is doing their Malloween for the kids, that they can trick-or-treat indoors safely, and there's different vendors and different committees and groups around the township that will have a stand and give out candy and prizes and games.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else for the good of the cause? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Sullivan, thank you. I lose that sometimes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good night.